Hi there. It's been a little while since the last did one, but not as long as the last gaps between the last few, so it's an improvement. Ultimately, December was a bit of a write-off for me because I literally went from having one cold to having another cold to having another cold, and it just wiped me out while I was trying to continue working all the way through. But I'm almost 100% clear of him, so it's been an improvement. But as a result of that, there's very little for me to actually say that I've been up to. Although I did go to London last week with a lovely friend of mine, and we went to Madame Tussauds, which was great fun. Went to see Wicked, which I hadn't had any real interest in seeing, but it was really good on stage. So it is good fun, and I enjoyed it. And then the following day, I went to the Wembley Stadium tour, which then allowed me to see things like the crossbar that Jeff Hurst hit. I sat in the Royal Box and saw Wembley in a state of being returfed. So it was a good, really good couple of days away. But that's literally all I've been up to other than work. I think last time I said that I was going to be applying for other jobs. I did have an interview, and I didn't get the job, but I passed the interview. I just got outscored by other people, which is a bit annoying, but at least I've tried something different. But, oh, what else have I done? Oh, I've been studying for a qualification through work, which I have passed as well. I completed that on New Year's Eve, and I was looking it up after I finished, and apparently it's equivalent to a master's degree. So despite the fact that I don't have a degree, I have something equivalent to a master's. So go me. But all I've really got now is a load of pickups to show you, and these are all a combination of things that I've bought on my travels, things that I got for Christmas, but there is a very special thing which is given away by the title of this video. So let's crack on. So tail end of last year, B&M started selling little MegaDrive dioramas, and there are 3 B&M stores in Norwich. Did not manage to find any in any of them at all. But then for Christmas, from my children, I got the Altered Beast diorama. And do you know what? Even though they're tiny, they are really, really nice and rather well detailed. The one that I really wanted, Sonic 2 diorama with Tails and Sonic. And yes, I have taken them out of the box because I wanted them on my shelf over there. I'll do this one next, which is the Sonic 3 diorama with Knuckles included. And then the one that I hadn't given any thought to at all, but is probably my favourite of the lot, which is the Street Fighter diorama. Street Fighter 2 diorama. And it's just, I think is it Hadouken? Because I've not played Street Fighter 2 a great deal, but I like the little details, like having the health bars and stuff, and like the Sonic ones have got the level names and stuff on them, and it's really, really nice. So I got them. And then I think it was last week I nipped out and decided, well, given I've got all of the game ones, I may as well get myself the one off the MegaDrive, which also comes with the Sonic 1 one, which, let's get close to the camera. Whoop, which way is it? Which has Dr. Robotnik in his little ship there. So they're all very nice little things to have. And another thing that I got for Christmas, I'm going through all of the merch first. I got the Lego Game Boy, which is a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to be bigger, but it is the same size as a normal Game Boy. But there's just so many nice little touches, like the buttons are really tactile and stuff. And like, can I show you? Can you see? So they click back out, and then you've got the scrollers, you've got the power button, which flicks over with a nice satisfying click. And it's just, it is really, really nice. So that is a nice one to have. I do kind of want to get the kit where you can use it as an actual Game Boy, but that's quite expensive at the moment, so we'll see what I do with that. But that is all the merch-based stuff that I've got in the last few weeks. UMD wise, I've got a couple of films that I have seen before, which does break with what I've been doing with UMDs, but also a couple that I haven't seen before. So I've never seen Click before, which it's kind of from the period where Adam Sandler was doing a lot of films which kind of had decent hooks. I don't think they actually reviewed particularly well, so that's an interesting one to have a look at. Then this one, which just, it looks bloody awful, but we'll give it a go, which is The Benchwarmers, which is three older guys who know what it's like to be bullied. They form a three-man baseball team. Baseball has never been my thing, but it's an interesting one to look at, and for £1, I'm not going to turn it down. This one, I'm not sure whether I've shared it before, but when I was having a bit of a tidy up the other day, I found it hidden under my chair, so I don't know whether I've shared it before or whether it's just been sitting. I knocked it up, whether it fell back down before I did a video. God, I'm tripping over my words a lot today, aren't I? And that is Snatch, which I know nothing about at all, other than Brad Pitt is like an Irish bare knuckle boxer, so it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. But then the one that I have definitely seen before is Hostel Part 2. Now, I like my gory films. I do enjoy Hostel films, even though at their core they are pretty rubbish. But I've got this one in the collection now, and it will be getting watched at some point relatively soon. I'm rattling through this really quickly today. So now we get on to the actual games, which there aren't too many games, but the first one I picked up probably about a week before Christmas, and that is Escape from Monkey Island in Big Box. I did already have this just as the disc and also on Steam, but I remember when I was about 16, I went to stay with my uncle for a few days, and on the way back to his, he bought this for me to play. And then when I got back to his, I think I did the first quarter of the game maybe, and then spent about 24 hours straight playing The Sims while he went AWOL looking for a phone charger. It's not the best Monkey Island game by any stretch of the imagination. The 3D graphics haven't aged well in the slightest, but it is also just very nice to settle down with any Monkey Island game. I think I've mentioned before, every year I play Monkey Island 1 and 2 all the way through. It's just a tradition that I have stuck to over years now. So chances are I'll be doing them on some form of stream, although I'm very boring to watch playing them because I just know them pretty much inside out and I rattle through them really quickly, but at least it's something for me to do. But now is the part that is very exciting. I've been collecting the movie-based games for the MegaDrive for over a year now, I think, and I came up with a list of 44. I think I started out with a list of 39, and then people were pointing out ones that I hadn't noticed. But the first one that I picked up is one that a lot of people suggested early on, but I turned it down on the basis that it's not based on a movie, it's based on characters from movies. But just to remove any ambiguity, I picked up RoboCop versus Terminator, which it looks like a side-scroller. You've got to save mankind by destroying the Skynet supercomputer in the possible future in which machines rule the Earth and Skynet is supreme. So, as with nearly every game I buy for the MegaDrive at the moment, I've never played it, but I am going to try to do a lot more playing this year and maybe share what I've done with playing them. But the two that I've struggled to get most throughout all of this, I couldn't find them at prices that I necessarily liked. So I was scrolling through eBay, actually on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And so the first one I ended up picking up from Australia, which I believe Australia is still PAL, but obviously it's not a UK release. But I managed to get it, including shipping from Australia, for less than I would have got it with buying it in the UK. So the first one of these is Addams Family Values. The case is a bit tatty, but that's going to be easy enough to replace. But I think I prefer Addams Family Values over the first Addams Family. I love the summer camp bit, but this one you become Uncle Fester and you've got to go around solving puzzles to try and save Pubert. So that is one that I'm very much looking forward to playing, because I enjoy it. I do apologise, I'm full of coughs, burps and other bodily functions today. It just isn't very fun. But then yesterday, the last one for the MegaDrive movies has arrived. I ended up ordering this one from Germany, but the case and everything is in English, so I'm hoping the game will be in English as well. If not, I've messed up a little bit, but I'm still counting it as a win. And that is True Lies, which is a comedy spy thriller which has Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis in it. And I said right at the start of this, I was going to make sure I watched the films before I bought them. And this was one of the more pleasant surprises of the films I watched. I mean, I think the best one I watched that I wouldn't have watched without doing this was Demolition Man, by quite a distance, because Wesley Snipes is phenomenal in it. But this was such a pleasant surprise, and at least it wasn't as bad as Cutthroat Island, which, that was absolutely stinking. But that brings me to a complete end as far as the MegaDrive movies are concerned. So the question is whether I go in the direction of collecting more movie games but for a different console, or whether I go in the direction of collecting, just sticking to general collecting and playing. So I spent a couple of days just making lists of the movie-based games for different consoles that I own. And the two that were kind of highest up in my decision making was either the Master System, stick with Sega, or the SNES. And I was looking at it in terms of the prices as well. Master System, I was looking at prices for boxed with manual, whereas for the SNES, I was looking at just cartridge only, because box Nintendo is just far too expensive for me. And I think the list ended up being something like 24 for the Master System, of which I own one, or 49 for the SNES, of which I own one. And I was looking at prices and the variety of films and stuff, and I've decided that I'm going to go in the direction of collecting the SNES movie-based games, which, as I said, gives me a better variety. And also there's a lot of crossover between the MegaDrive and the SNES, so I can see kind of comparisons between the two, because I know that, I think it was Aladdin, although they were both based on the film, they were developed by different publishers and different studios, so there's very big differences between the two, so I can get a good comparison going. In doing this, I have come up with a bit of a conundrum, and that is, on the SNES, you've got Jurassic Park and you've got Jurassic Park 2. Jurassic Park 2 is a follow-on from Jurassic Park 1, but it continues the story, but it's not based on the Lost World in any way. So while it's a continuation within the same universe, it's not based on a film, but then again, without the film, the second one wouldn't be made. So my question to you is, do I include Jurassic Park 2 in this? Because I already said that I wasn't going to continue with, I initially wasn't going to get Robocop versus Terminator, because it wasn't based on a film, but instead it was based on the characters. So does Jurassic Park 2 count as movie-based or not? And the thing that further complicates this is, although I did what I did with Robocop versus Terminator, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition does exactly the same thing. So do I get Jurassic Park 2 as part of this, or do I not? That is my question to you, but ultimately, I'd like your opinions. So that is every pickup and everything that I've picked up. Every pickup and everything I've picked up. I'm full of repetition today. I'm just not with it at all, am I? So I'm going to go and try and get the movie games for the SNES now. But beyond that, in the next couple of weeks, I've literally got work lined up, and that's about it. Although I am expecting a delivery of something interesting today, that I'm hoping I'll be able to do a video. So it should be a shorter wait for the next video, hopefully. But we'll see what happens. And other than that, I think this is the shortest one I've done for a while. But thanks for watching if you've lasted this long, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.